Okay, I've got this MT5 that was given to me by LMT, and I'm going to try to pick it on video. I already got it a couple times today, for the first times actually. First two times I got it were today. It was a difficult lock to get because it doesn't come with a key. No key. I'm going to figure out who to pass it on to next. I get a little piece of paper or tiny little notebook or something to kind of move along with it. Because it's not often you get a. Well, I guess it is often you get something without a key, but I don't know. We don't have a lot of locks that just kind of bounce from person to person that are free. Or maybe we do and I just don't know about it. To get the alpha pin, I use a gem, Peterson gem. Just kind of wiggle it in there, and I'm pretty sure that sets it. You can also set it first. It's a little bit easier to figure it out if you're setting it first, because you can kind of set it, release tension, make sure that you got it, and just do the same thing. Finding the binders is really hard on this thing because you have to use a ton of tension. Okay, we got a false set there. You got to use a ton of tension and just very lightly tap. It just cracks into a into a false set because of the tension you have to use. And then after you get into a false set, you kind of gotta go through, get into a slightly deeper false set, I think usually is what happens. And then you kind of jiggle it a little bit, get a little bit of pulsing tension on it. And use that to set the last pins. Oh, there's the deep set. Okay. It's tricky to get them. You gotta really reef on them. I got a smaller pick that used to try to find these a little bit better. Got this guy. He's really tiny. Just not gonna focus on it because I have it set to focus on the lock, but oh, is that? Number 2 is like really going all the way up there. I don't think that's. Huh. Okay. I don't think it's usually number 2 that's the issue at the very end. It's usually like 3 or 4. You gotta find them. Oh, yeah, and number 1. There it is. Okay. Number 1 kind of rebinds for some reason. Um, let's take this thing apart. I have yet to take it apart. I'm going to try to set the autofocus lock off. Bring this up here a little bit. Yeah, we have to take this thing apart. So while it's picked, I think I can grab one of these guys here. Get it. have to really put it in the lock, or put it in the vise pretty heavily too. Again, oh, I have to take the C clamp off, making sure not to twist it back. Should have done that first. Good Lord. Okay, I think this should be the right size. I'm gonna try to shim it first, if I can. I don't know if this thing can be shimmed, because it's got really tight tolerances. I think that's as good as we're gonna get for now. All right, check this thing out. There's the yeah, these are milled out like like no other. Like this thing is like, you can see the little milling bits inside of the inner pins, which is wild to me. Um, let's toss it out on the tray. All right, let's see, we get the key pins here, or the driver pins. The key pins. Okay. Take a look here. What we got? Yeah, so really cool looking little alpha pin that just pushes up on this guy like this. That sits in this back one. Obviously there's no milling in that, but there's milling in the others. I'll show you that real quick. Stop autofocusing. Okay. There should be milling in the others. Yeah, you can't really see it on the video. Oh no, there's no milling on the sides here. No. The milling, I think the milling comes from the inside of these pins, which are pretty grimy, honestly. Kind of dirty. Yeah, so there's some there's a little bit of milling inside of those, and that's where the inner pins get stuck. At least it looks like they are. Yeah, just tiny little, it's so hard to see. Tiny little lips in there. Pretty wild. Yeah, and then obviously the driver pins themselves are also serrated, right? So you see a little serration down there. And that serration catches on those little little lips. Those little bits of milling inside of here. Which is pretty crazy. But yeah, that's this whole thing. Looks like there's some way you can like unscrew this somehow. Or maybe you'd have to like properly drill this. I'm not sure. But I wasn't able to. Yeah, you can see there's no sidebar in here, although it looks like there's room for one on the bottom. I don't know if that's where they'd usually keep the sidebar there or whatnot. Probably not, considering that it's a sidebar. Yeah, pretty cool little lock. Took me like a week to figure out how to get this thing picked. Yeah, it's a pretty long video though, so I'm gonna cut it off here. We'll fast forward through all the boring parts. Yeah, just one final look at all these these cool pins. Very neat. Very cool. And this is going to be going off to, I don't know, somebody. If you're a green or a blue belt and you're looking to get something to challenge you, I know LMT said he didn't even pick this until he picked his MT5 Plus, because blind picking it is probably considerably more difficult than picking with a key. But you know, it's doable. I just got purple, so if you're shooting for around there, just let me know. We'll figure it out, and I'll get that little notebook, and then we'll start passing it around. Pretty cool. All right, later, everybody.